Wow. Hey everyone, welcome to Jay is for Justice. My name is Jay and I'm your host today. I have a special interview for you guys. I have Donald Wells. We're going to be talking to him. He is an open book, you guys. He's going to answer questions and talk to us openly and candidly. And without further ado, I'm just going to add him right here. All right, Don, we are live. Are you there?
Yep, I'm sure.
All right. I just want to make sure everybody that's watching can hear Don okay.
Uh-huh.
So I want to thank you, Don, for taking some time out of your day to talk to me. I know a lot. We just talked quite a bit on the phone, and it'll probably be a lot of repeat things that we already talked about. So I apologize. So yeah, thanks for taking the time out to do this. So why don't we start? I know since we talked about this, we were kind of all over the place in our conversation, but why don't you tell me a little bit about when you found out that you and Candace were having a girl?
Well, I mean, I was excited or anything, but I didn't expect anything like what I got. She's been a little angel, and she has just been so awesome, you know. I just didn't expect anything like that. I didn't expect her to just cling to me for the first 18 months, 2 years, I don't remember, but she wouldn't go to nobody but me, and I didn't expect that. That was just so awesome.
Yeah. And you were saying, you know, you had that bond with her, and she just was Daddy's girl.
Yeah, I could just say one word in a bad tone or something, and she would just break down and bawl, and I'd have to just tell her I'm sorry. I have to tell her I'm sorry, 10 times. But anybody else say anything to her, it didn't bother her whatsoever. But me, she just, I don't know, it'd tear her up if I said anything to her. So this is just killing me for her being gone. It's literally just so hard.
I know. I can hear it in your voice, and in your interviews, I could see it on your face.
Yeah.
So, let's talk a little bit about the interview that you and Candace just did.
Uh-huh.
And you know, some of the rumors and speculations that are being talked about.
Right.
First of all, let's talk about drugs. I mean, let's just get it out of the way. Let's just get it out of the way.
Uh-huh.
Is your wife currently on any drugs?
Zero. No.
Nothing for anxiety, nothing.
Nothing. No.
Okay.
I mean, she's even trying to quit drinking at this point, because of the church, and everything like that.
Right.
So she's trying to give up everything.
Right.
And,
So your religion, your Seventh-day Adventist is your religion, and you were telling me that you were raised as a Mormon, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
So how long have you been practicing the Seventh-day Adventist religion?
Well, I read Ellen White's book, years ago, but it's just been a slow process. And eventually, one day I thought, you know what, I'm going to go to the church, because I was looking on YouTube and I was checking out the Bible Flock Box, and then I eventually found out that he was a Seventh-day Adventist. He says, you need to go to a Seventh-day or a Saturday going church. And he said he recommended a Seventh-day Adventist. So I checked that out. I thought, I'm just going to go one time. And so it's been, over a year and a half. We've been involved with that church. I've been going ever since.
It's been the same church, you guys.
Yeah.
And that's the church where Summer has bonded with a lot of the members.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about that, how she would be at church and what she would do?
Well, people, they'd always, at first, they'd try to, you got to sit down and everything, but she refused. She would go from people to people to people, and you can see in some of the videos, where she goes to Robin on stage and asks her to pick her up, and she would every time, just...
Everybody just loved her.
Yeah, everybody kind of gave up on the idea of having her sit still. Yeah.
They just knew that was how she was going to be.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute.
It is.
All right. So a little bit more about that interview. I know a lot of people are reading, looking at you guys, what you say, what you do, how you look, everything else,
Right.
Is there anything that you want to say to the public that you haven't been able to, or you haven't been able to convey in the interviews that you've done?
Not really. Just trying hard to, be a commandment keeper. Especially, I've been kind of lukewarm. And since this has happened this summer, I promise God, no matter what the outcome, I'm going full bore to commandment keeper and doing everything I can, because I want to be with my church family, all my fellow human beings and commandment keepers in the resurrection. I want to be there, and I want to see my kids there, and anybody, who's wanting to do the same thing,
Okay,
So,
and you mentioned the resurrection. I don't mean to cut you off,
Yeah.
but I want to ask you a
No,
question about that
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
we move on. In an interview that you did, I think it was the interview you were standing and your son was next to you. You had your
Yeah.
arm around him.
Yeah.
They asked something about summer, and you said, "Well, we believe in the resurrection." So, what did you mean by that?
Well, what I meant is if she's not found, or in the worst case scenario, for my own sanity, like if it wasn't for my beliefs in this stuff, I would have lost it long ago.
Right,
I mean, there's no way I can handle this without God. There is no way.
right.
I know that the weight of it and gravity of it is way too much. I know there's no way, but so I have to put my trust in God and pray and beg that He'll bring her back, hopefully. But worst case scenario, there's the resurrection,
hmm
and I know I'll see her there. I mean,
A lot of people thought that you sounded very just like you had accepted that.
well, I'm just accepting that God is in control, not me. Or when you got half the country's police force out here, with all these helicopters flying for days on end, and heat-seeking airplanes at night, and half the country's, police force and all these other outfits here, and they can't find her, and they're powerless to find her. But God knows where she's at, and I have to put my full faith in Him.
So what you meant by that was just you're putting your faith in God and that she's going to be okay.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that she's going to be okay, because she could be anywhere. It's hard. We don't know. Nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say a parent's faith and what they do might impact God's judgment in the end, no matter what one of your children go through. I mean, say, for instance, one of your kids overdoses on drugs or something, that's tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation.
Absolutely.
But I think God will consider, hopefully, what their parents do and what, stuff like that, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Because what if she is forced to do drugs and grows up in this negative way or this negative country or who knows what, and and she gets killed or whatever, and she's not in the church. I wasn't able to bring her up in church like I wanted to. So what if,
Right, but it's kind of like what we talked about on the phone before. Like
right,
she's the little innocent kid,
right.
She's a little innocent kid.
And God, and the good thing about that, Jesus being the judge, He's also your lawyer.
Right?
So
Yep.
definitely, I'm going to do everything I can, to sway God and to. Well, you can't sway God, but I mean, I'm going to.
Right. To get your message to him.
Do right, and to do everything I can for my kids' sake, yes. She's got my heart so bad that that's all I want to do. That's all I can think about. I read scriptures. And
what are you and Candace and the boys spending your time doing right now?
well, right now we're at the swim park thing, whatever it is, and kids are playing and having a great time. But me, I'm just sitting here watching them till we leave.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you just have that sick feeling in your stomach, just constant.
I don't think it's going to go away.
I'm so sorry, Don. I really am. I know this is really super hard, and you're doing a great job. You really are.
Thank you.
Okay, so can we go to that day? Can we go to June 15th now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I know Hunter's mother did an interview with another YouTube channel where she spoke about Candace coming and picking up Hunter and asking if he wanted to go fishing that day with Summer.
They've been kind of friends, for a long time. I'd invite them out to our house where they could play because, where they were living, it was pretty bad. But
so Candace and Hunter's mom were friends?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and all the other kids that they have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have several other kids, and but Hunter wanted to go to the lake. He was going to go swimming while they was waiting on her to fill her prescription or whatever. They're always doing stuff with Summer, as you can see in the pictures, going here and there. But I'm always at work to support everything, which is fine.
Right,
yeah.
right. And you're a hard worker. You work and you do drywall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard job. That's physical labor.
It takes all your time, that's for sure.
Absolutely, especially when you're raising a big family like you guys have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got quite a few. How many of you guys have? 4, right? 3 boys and Summer.
Yes.
Yep. I had 3, so I know you got your hands full there.
Right.
So, so she goes over, but were her and Hunter's mom on good terms at this time, or were they?
Yeah, they were, and I don't understand why. Well, something to do with that little girl, Trudy, was supposedly having sex with a 12-year-old, and
now who is this?
That's with one of their daughters. That's these people, Hunter's sister.
Oh, Hunter's sister. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
It was like having sex with a 12-year-old, and she wanted my wife to lie to the police about it, and my wife ain't gonna lie to the police. So she.
Oh, wow.
This is where all this. She got mad about it, and they're trying to do everything they can to hurt us at this point.
Oh, I see. Okay, so at the time though, on the 15th, when Candace went over there, they were cool. They were all right.
Right, exactly.
And then so she went to see the mom. I'm sorry, I don't know her first name. What's Hunter's mom's first name?
I can't remember.
All right. We'll just call her Hunter's mom. We'll just call her Hunter's mom.
Okay.
Okay, so she goes over to see Hunter's mom, and then she asks Hunter to go to the state park with them. Who was all with Candace?
Candace's mother.
Okay.
Summer, Wyatt and Waylon, and Josie, the 3 boys. And,
so all the boys were there too.
Well, either that or the boys stayed here. I'm really unclear on that for sure. I'm not sure.
I know it's been tossed around that the boys weren't there, and everybody was like, "Why were the boys at home?" And she's taken this 15-year-old boy to the state park with Summer.
Right. Yeah, I'm unclear on that. I really don't know for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate you, being honest that you don't, that you're unclear. Okay, so but he does go with Candace to the state park.
Yeah.
And Summer's there, and they swim and they fish or they do whatever, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's like a normal place they usually go to go swimming.
Yeah, it's real shallow there. It's pretty safe.
Yeah, it looked like Summer when she was standing. It was like her waist.
Yeah. It's pretty safe there.
Okay, so then she drops Hunter off at his house.
Right.
That afternoon at like 2:30 or whatever the time. 2:30.
Picked up her prescription. That's why you see Summer asleep in the back of the truck there, because she's just stuck it out.
Yes, and that's what I wanted to ask you about. That picture.
Yeah.
So she's back there, and someone had put a side by side of her hands.
Yeah.
Did you see this on YouTube?
I heard some about it.
Yeah, I know you've seen some of the stuff.
I didn't pay no attention to it though.
Yeah, I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to the hand thing, but I did, I looked at her in the back seat, and she's got like the couple gallons of milk. So I'm assuming they went shopping or went to the store to get some groceries or, some milk. And she's kind of, just leaned against it. It looks to me like she's sleeping.
Yeah, definitely.
And Candace took a picture of her sleeping.
Right.
Is that a picture or is that a TikTok video? Something like that.
Picture, I think.
Okay. So she takes this picture, and this is on the way back from swimming.
Yeah.
All right. So then Grandma, Summer, and Mom go home and they're outside in the garden.
Yeah. They said they're planting flowers, but actually it was some kind of like cactus flower or something like that. Yeah.
Well, whatever. They were tinkering around in the yard, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So they're outside and then Summer's outside playing and the boys were all inside, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then Summer says, I want to go inside with the boys.
Right.
So she goes in. Mom walks her like halfway to the house.
Yeah.
And she goes in.
Watched her go in the door. Make sure she made it to the door. And then, yeah.
So she actually physically saw Summer walk through the door.
Yes, yes.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then Summer goes inside and Mom stays outside with Grandma.
Yeah.
Okay.
She helped her get her brace on her knee. And then, about 2, 3, 4 minutes, who knows, come back in the house and she asked the boys, where's Summer? Well, she went down to play with her toys. So she hollered twice for her. She didn't answer. So she went down there looking for her. We never seen her again.
So she had a toy, like her toys were downstairs in your basement?
It was her and Waylon's room down there.
Oh,
And we had
okay.
the boys sleeping upstairs. And some of the boys have a bad habit of leaving that basement door unlocked, too. And
Well, I'm sure they're probably up and down since bedrooms are down there. That's got to be hard to keep it locked.
So if someone abducted her, we don't know if they come in the basement or if Summer might have stepped outside and walked around the back of the house.
Okay, so yeah, do you guys have dogs?
Yeah, but they don't know when. They bark at dumb things and don't bark at others.
I know how that goes. I've had dogs like that too. What kind are they?
They're just, people. We've had a few good dogs. People steal those and dump off the ones they don't want. We've had several that were just severely old and could barely get around, and they just die. People just dump off dogs all the time there.
Aw, sometimes those are the best ones to get though, Don.
Yeah.
The ones that everybody else doesn't want.
Yeah.
Aw, that's sad. But
yeah.
Do you think so? You don't think the dogs would have like alerted?
Well, I've driven if someone several times and they don't even know I'm there. I've had to, I walk in the door and they didn't even know I pulled up. So somebody could have drove up. It could have been an opportunity with someone seen her. It could have been someone she knows.
I think it's fair to say that not all dogs are territorial and have that demeanor about them. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair to say that, your dogs could have just looked at somebody if they walked up and walked in your house.
Yeah. Yep.
And you were telling me about like the road you live on is a dead end. Can you kind of describe how you did for me, like the traffic that comes in and out of there?
Yeah, there is a lot of drug traffic. People come in from all hours of the night, going down the road looking for pills or meth or whatever it is they're looking for. And we've caught them, my neighbors have caught them several times parked in our driveway. And they'll, run them out and say, go do your damn meth somewhere else or whatever,
Yeah.
And so that makes them mad, and they'll come by the house and burn rubber and raise all kind of heck, and stuff. So we've had problems with them before, but lately we haven't had we've had zero traffic here lately.
It's slowed down. Well, ever since summer, ever since.
There's been nothing since then.
So so your road, is it, I just see like, the clips I've seen on the news and it looks like you live in the country.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so how many neighbors do you guys have?
Well, it's hard to see them, with all the trees and everything, but we got neighbors, all around us, really.
But you can't see them from your house.
We got John that lives in a trailer about 500 yards away. Our neighbors about, 250 yards away.
Everybody is really spread out.
A lot of these guys are really good people.
Right.
They've never had an abduction off of Beach Creek before.
And I'm sure they've interviewed all the neighbors and everything and all there was several sex offenders in the area, true, correct?
Yeah. They checked all those out and everything, yeah. And, we put a lot of pressure on the drug traffic, trying to get names of everybody who's been through there and stuff like that. And so, and as far as we can tell, it's none of them.
Right. Okay, so I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. So let's go back to the 15th. Because I really, and that's the thing I want to let everybody that's listening know is that I want to keep this about Summer, and I know you want to keep this about Summer.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, and I just want to get the, whatever you can clear up about that day is awesome. So.
Okay.
So Candace realizes, oh my gosh, Summer's gone. She calls you,
She calls
freaking
me.
out.
Yes.
And what did she say? I can't find her.
She says, I can't find Summer. I can't find Summer. I says, okay, hang up from me and call 911. So she did that. She had to go get her mom's phone because we live in the country. And so when she hung up, I called 911 and they transferred me to Hawkins County. And I threw the rest of my tools in the car, and I beat all the police there. We were about 45 minutes away. I probably made it.
You got there
20 minutes.
first.
Yes.
And when you got there, what was going on?
When I got home, I drove to the bottom property and drove all the way to the bottom of the creek. First thing, and I seen my sons out looking everywhere, and my neighbor, and my heart dropped. I knew right then I knew right then she was abducted. I knew it. And then when the cops started showing up, everything, I tried telling them that, but they weren't listening to me. And the whole roads got blocked up, driveways, everything got blocked up.
You couldn't even leave. You
couldn't leave, couldn't do nothing, and they weren't listening. I tried to tell them that she was abducted. And
were they honing in on you at that point?
They started,
yeah.
Searching, and me and my wife, and searching the area, and started going out on foot everywhere, stuff like that. But
it must have all happened so fast for you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I cut you off. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I just have so many questions running through my head, just
of
everything that I've read and seen.
Yeah.
So you get home and it's just probably utter chaos.
It really was.
And then everything just the authorities come in and it's just boom, they're all in your house. So they start searching your house immediately.
Yeah.
And they're in there CSI style.
Well, they come in, I think the next day, CSI, and collecting all sorts of evidence and stuff, tearing the house apart, looking for stuff, and everything, like a criminal investigation, which, that's fine. That's fine, they're going to do that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, definitely. They bagged up a lot of her clothes. I think the second or third day they started bagging up all her clothes and anything, all kind of stuff.
So sad. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's just part of it,
Yeah, but it shouldn't be anything that ever happens to any.
One of the parts that was really eerie to me is one of the officers said that there was a yellow car, 4-door, that was just flying out of the area that he passed, and he said he couldn't turn around because he had to go to call.
He was getting called to your house for a missing.
So he couldn't turn around and go after this person, and she could have very well been in that vehicle.
Holy smokes!
Because he was really flying.
So he made mention of that. So that could possibly be
another officer, and I overheard it or whatever, and that just has been haunting me ever since. The yellow 4-door car or some sort. I don't know.
Wow.
Yes.
Do you live on a dirt road or is it paved?
Well, no, our driveway is dirt up our driveway with it goes around the house,
Oh, yeah, because you guys are set back from the road.
Yeah, Ben Hill Road is paved, but it's a dead-end road. But, yeah, our driveway is dirt, gravel, and so.
So did this cop say anything about, whereabouts the car was?
It was headed down Beach Creek Road towards Watersville, I believe.
And that's pretty close to your place.
Well,
or not?
Beach Creek Road's a pretty long road. But I'd say, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, would it have been 10 minutes or,
Yeah, I don't know for sure on that, where it was at.
Oh, where it was at on that road.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
insane.
know.
Have you asked them about that again?
No, they're not talking.
They're not giving you any info.
And if you try to talk to one of them guys, usually it's like, well, I'm just a little guy. They don't tell me no. They're all tight-lipped about everything.
Yeah, and they have to be. They have to be, and I get it too.
Yeah,
but for you, it's got to be super frustrating.
Yeah, for sure.
To not know if they know anything and they can't
Yeah.
share it with you, you know?
Right.
So they immediately start this massive search. Like immediately, it was like because of you guys live in the mountains. It's
Yeah. It was kind of cold that night, so they were concerned about her being out there by herself,
oh yeah,
which I understand. And I thought at the time, well, maybe somebody abducted her and took her off in the woods, you know. So yeah, we had to search, you know, but.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be like the first thing you would think is that either
Yeah.
someone took her out there or she wandered off.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think she wanted it, but yeah, somebody could have been on foot too, you know. That's
Correct.
a possibility.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
anything's possible at this point.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why I want to keep the focus on Summer,
Right.
you know, and off of
Yeah.
the rumors about you and your wife and, you know, whatever past you have in your past has nothing to do with why we're here right now,
Right.
you know, and I want you to know you have a lot of support behind you.
I appreciate everybody too.
Yeah. And I want to give you an opportunity to address everyone who's given you so much support and made you feel, you know, better.
Just thank you very much. It really helps a lot when there's so much negativity. You know, I get that kind word here and there that just, you know, that's awesome. And it really is. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
And you need that. You need to know that people are behind you.
Yeah.
Because you gotta feel pretty alone. But you have your church family, correct? Everyone in your
Yes.
church is backing you up and they're
Yeah.
supporting you.
Yeah, they were alive. You know, they have cameras throughout the church, but they had to cut that off. I'm going to try to encourage them just to go ahead. I think we're hopefully okay now that we can go back to live because it's important, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. So grandma, that's Candace's mother.
Right.
Does she live with y'all?
She's got a little trailer we pulled up there for her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. About
It's like the mother-in-law suite there at the Wells.
25. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so she lives there on the property with you guys.
Yes.
And everyone wants to know why grandma hasn't spoken out.
Well, because of all the negative media stuff that's happening in this case is what she went through with her daughter when she came up missing 11 years ago.
So
And it's
this
the same thing.
this is probably very triggering and
Yes.
for her.
Yeah, she's already lost one daughter. Now she's lost her granddaughter the same exact way, except for this was in Wisconsin.
That is just I have no words.
Right. Yeah. So this is a serious problem in our country. I mean, I guess Mexico's probably worse with this issue, but it's been happening in the United States. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the statistics that you told me you looked up are scary.
Yeah. Yeah. 15 abductions since Summer's been missing and 250 since 2020 here in the Tri-Cities area in eastern Tennessee.
One is too many, but yeah. I mean it is. And you know, I just want you to know that all of us are behind you guys and Summer.
We appreciate
And
that.
Summer.
For sure.
I'm trying to think if I had another question for you.
I just wish there was a way we could pull together or convince the military or something to convince in and try to find all these kids.
I know
It's
it.
crazy.
I know it.
Absolutely insane.
I talked to a lady that lives in Texas that runs like a human trafficking group where they rescue these girls.
Really?
They're
Wow.
they're part of like a sting, and then they get these girls and get them back and, you know, take them to the doctor and try to find their families. It's crazy. And the stories is heartbreaking.
Wow.
It doesn't even sound like something that could happen in America, but it does.
Yeah. Yeah. Crime's getting worse for sure in so many ways. And so, you know, drugs, meth, and just keeps coming across the border like nothing. But, you know, in the open borders, I don't know for sure, but when I went to Mexico, they didn't even check you going to Mexico. You know,
Right.
coming back, yeah, but going across to Mexico, they didn't check you at all. I don't even see why they'd stop anybody from going across the border. The people, they'll stop you from swimming across the Rio Grande, but you go swimming the Rio Grande to Mexico, they don't have no reason to stop you for that.
Right, right.
Yeah, you take a bunch of kids and swim across that river, and them kids are gone.
I know. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
It is. It really
Because our
is.
children are innocents, you know.
Yeah. I
Um,
wish the military would step in somehow. It's just, I wish I had somebody to talk to about that, in the higher ups or anything. I feel like Trump might do something about it if he was in office. But,
yeah. Oh boy, that's gonna start some controversy there.
well,
We
I'm
start-
sure.
But shoot, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, you're absolutely fine. You're absolutely fine. That's what happens when I start reading the live chat. I can't read that and talk. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I bet.
It's too much. But I wanted to ask about the boys. How
Yeah.
I know you've got them out swimming today and
Yeah.
trying to keep
Yeah.
things as normal as possible. What are their ages? And
13, how old are you, what? 11, and how old's Waylon? 9. I'm not
wow.
forgetting on birthdays. Sorry.
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So how are they holding up? And what
They're
are they?
doing okay. Let them stop a minute and think about summer, We're upset about that, but they can go a lot further longer than I can without thinking about it. But they seem to be doing fine, especially the youngest one.
I mean, are they? Yeah, and they didn't hear anything. So that was another question. When Candace went inside, I'm sure she went to the boys and said, "Where's Summer?" And they said
Yeah.
she's playing downstairs.
Yeah.
I'm sure the boys were interviewed by police and all that.
Yeah, they took them to specialists because you can't just interview kids. So
Right,
they had to take them clear to some specialist somewhere to be interviewed. Yeah,
right,
you have to do it a certain way. Yeah.
right, right. And I just want to make note that the boys are in yours and Candace's custody at your home
Yeah.
right
Yes.
now.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
unless the threats continue and get worse. Yeah.
The threats. What do you mean?
There's been lots of threats of people who are going to come up here and going to beat the truth out of us
What?
and all kind of other stuff. And we've had people come up one night with flashlights and we had to call the police. And I don't know, just stuff like that, stuff that people put on there.
What are the police doing about those type of
The
things?
The FBI warned them on Facebook that something, I can't remember, but, all this, I don't remember. But there's one guy, he was being real threatening to me, and I said, well, I'll make sure I let the FBI know about what you're saying. I told him, if you don't stop, I'm going to the FBI. Give him that chance.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't heard nothing since. So
You're really, really, really fair to, considering the situation, you're being very fair. So do you feel like the authorities are, protecting you guys from that kind of stuff? Like they're, I don't know how I want to word it, not protecting you, but like if you have something like that happen, do you feel like they're taking you serious?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think they are.
You feel respected by
Well,
them?
yeah, they've been, the FBI and all of them has been really great, to be honest with you. There's been a couple guys of them police that probably think that I'm guilty somehow, or that I don't know, I just get bad vibes from them. But they've been professional, and some of them has been really, really cool. Very cool.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, there's always bad seeds in every bunch,
Right. Absolutely.
But I mean, just for the most part, you feel like
they've
everything's
been-
going like it should be.
Yeah, they've been more than really good to us, yes. And I've probably been unfair because I've said some bad things because I'm upset, just like everybody in
Sure.
America was upset. I've said bad things that I don't really mean
Sure.
just because I'm frustrated,
Understandable.
Yeah.
Don, your little girl's missing. I mean,
Right.
you get a free pass to be an ass every now and then, okay? You really do. You really do. And I want to go back to just real quick, I'm going to let you go in just a minute because I know you're busy with your family. But I just wanted to ask about the polygraphs because we didn't talk about that yet.
Right.
So you and Candace both took polygraphs. Just
Well,
one?
Yeah. Well, I hadn't slept for like 2 days. Couldn't sleep. And so when I got around to doing my polygraph, which I agreed to do, I kept falling asleep, so I couldn't. They told me go home, get some sleep. So I went home and I tried my best to get sleep.
Yeah.
So the next day I took it and passed. And then they got Candace in there, and her nerves and everything so bad, she just couldn't do it at all. So they gave her like 4 or 5 days to come back and do her polygraph test, and she passed.
So you guys you had to come back because you weren't feeling well. You were falling asleep. Obviously, they're not going to get an accurate result. So I wouldn't really call that you completed one. You really completed just one, not 2.
Well, I couldn't complete the one.
Right.
So I completed the second one. Yes.
So you were nodding off during it because you were
right. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So people have said that she failed one, that Candace failed one and then took a second.
No, it's just that she couldn't, she didn't fail it. She just couldn't do it. She's just so upset,
Yeah.
Some of them questions, that they ask you just brings back, first, if you can get somewhere off your mind for just 2 seconds, which is impossible, but some questions, bring it all back and you lose it.
Yeah.
Would you hurt? Have you done something with your little girl, or what? Just questions. They have to ask. Did you hurt your little girl or whatever? But
yeah.
I don't know.
So you guys both were told that you passed them.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, no problem.
And they have, and the investigators have come back a few times, you said, to search the house.
Yes.
And took some of Summer's things. One last question for you.
Okay.
Before I let you go.
Right.
Do you think that Summer would have gone off with someone willingly? Just being innocent, social little Summer?
I don't know. If maybe if some of our church members, some of them, she might go up to them and say hi because she loves them so much, but I know they would never.
Yeah, I think any child has an innocence about them, and that's why, this back in the 80s when I was growing up, it was, can you help me find my puppy?
Yeah.
Because no innocent little child is going to say no.
Right.
No,
it's possible. I don't know. Anything's possible. Words like that. Puppy and so
these people that want to take children, they use all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, is it possible that Summer came back outside and no one saw? Is your house layout
it's possible she come out the back door and because she liked to play behind the house there. We planted some roses. Her and Summer and her mother planted some roses there and some other flowers, and she likes to just play right there, especially when it's cooler out because the sun always shines right there really good. She loved to be outside, and there's many times we'd be in the house and I'd say, you guys left Summer outside alone, go get her. And because she didn't want to be inside. She wanted to be outside. She
just loved to be outside playing.
Yeah, and that's what kills me, because if she's locked away somewhere and she can't be outside and play and all this stuff, and the fright and the trauma, just the thought of all that just kills me. It really does. When I get alone, them thoughts come to me more and more.
I can imagine. Well, our thoughts are all with you and the rest of your family. And, if you ever want to speak out and clear anything that in the future, you have an open door here, and I just want to thank you. We are praying for Summer's safe return.
And I appreciate all them prayers, and I just hope God answers them soon, in his time. But
for sure. Go enjoy those boys, Don.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
Okay, all righty.
All right, bye-bye. All right, guys, I hope that I covered a lot of your questions that you had. I I just want to thank Don again for coming on and being completely candid. I gave Mike D, don't spam my chat, please. Thanks. I gave him an opportunity to do a recorded episode with me so that no, he didn't say I love you. He said thank you. I gave him an opportunity to do a recorded episode and he declined. He said, I don't have anything to hide. I have no problem going live. I have no problems, just speaking out candidly. And that's what he did. So I hope that I covered a lot of your questions. If there's anything that comes up, I will obviously reach out to Don to see if he can speak about those. But here you go. That is Donald Wells, the father of missing 5-year-old Summer Wells. And the focus is on bringing Summer home safe. So thanks a lot, you guys. And have a great Saturday night. Oh, and for those of you that feel the need to be rude in this live stream, just remember this is about a 5-year-old little girl. Shame on you. This isn't about anything else but a 5-year-old missing little girl. Take care.
So, very interesting. Donald Wells. I was going to crop out or trim out that last part. Y'all know I hate editing, right? It really slows me down. But I didn't not do it because of the work. I didn't do it excuse me, because she has a very valid point. Now, we all want to really get in there with some boxing gloves and go at all of these possible killers, possible concealers, or whatever we want to call them. But in this particular situation, that's the last thing she was supposed to do. If she would have attacked him with all of our questions, my questions, he would have hung up on her and got out of there. He would have. Or if he stayed on, he would never talk again, not to any of us. So I want to give a super shout out for the way that Jay is for Justice was able to handle him. I don't know what her thoughts and beliefs are on him, but she came across very neutral and welcoming, and I think that is exactly what he likes. So even though I don't trust him as far as I can throw a stick, I appreciate that she could make him that comfortable. I understand the people that are on his side because, man, listen, sometimes I damn near believe him. I'm telling you. And I do say damn near because I just don't, it's something. There's something. That's my view. And after listening to this, I hear the points where I'm like, okay, if I hadn't really been in the thick of things with this case the whole time, pretty much, then I would probably believe him too. Just kind of looking at it generically, but as open-minded as I try to be, I can't see this man as innocent. I see him, if nothing else, just complicit of knowing more than he's saying and protecting someone or people. I don't know. If it turns out he's just that damn silly and he don't know what the hell's going on around him in his house, okay, my bad. But he needs to do better because it's it's not okay. I need you to know what the hell happened to your daughter. Like AV Watchman said, I mean, nobody leaves this house until I know everything. Period. Especially if y'all want me to go and stand in front of these damn cameras. I'm not going to be out here lying, like you said, to the police. I can't, Don, with you. I can't take him seriously. As serious as this situation is, I can't take him seriously. But I do appreciate the creator and the creation. And I thank Don for speaking up. I told y'all the other day, he's getting cocky. He got this. He got an army of fans on one side, so he ain't really worried about the haters. We can all kiss his, well, we can do you know what, I think is how he said it. He's not tripping. And that's exactly how comfortable the TBI wants you to be. So, for everybody that was in her chat mad, I want to piggyback what she said. It wasn't the time, y'all. It really wasn't. She did it right. Now, if he wanted to talk to Q, I'm going to be nice, but not that nice. But then I'm Q, I'm not Jay. You know what I mean? We're all different. I would also not just beat the man up. Oh, we know you did it, Don. Tell me what you did with the body. Like, no. Come on, we got to be classier than that. But I want to know things like, Dawn, can you tell me exactly what Candace said happened when Summer went in the house? What did the boys say she was doing when they last saw her? Did they hear a noise downstairs? What? Tell me what the kids are saying. I know it's sensitive, but hell, we're looking for Summer. It is about a 5-year-old girl. Again, this is just what Q would say. I'm not saying what anybody else should have done. I completely commend her on this job. I know how people twist words up. Hear me. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying I want a chance. I want to chit chat, Dawn. I just want to probe a little more. I will be so gentle, ever so gentle, as long as you don't bullshit me. If you start spitting bullshit in my face, okay, I'm gonna wipe it off and we're gonna have a problem. That's the only time you'll ever have a problem with me. You wanna come to me with the bullshit, the he say, the she say, the fumbling, bumbling stories that don't add up, I am not the one. Because my brain won't let me comprehend it. So, as hard as I might want to understand and play this advocate, every emotion inside of me is going to be like cringed up. If you could see me on camera, my facial expression is going to look like, what the fuck is he talking about? I can't do it. I wear my emotions. I control them, but I wear them on my sleeve. You'll see them on my face before it comes out of my mouth. And I have to tell my face, stop that. Stop. Right now, we're just going to ignore it. We're not tripping today. Jay did a good job not tripping today. Again, I don't know what her beliefs are. Maybe she does believe he's totally innocent. If she doesn't, hell, she could have fooled me. And that's great reporting. That's great journalism right there. And that's going to help find Summer, which is the main objective. We can cuss his ass out all day long once we figure out what he really knew and what he really did. And those that want to apologize, they can do that. But right now, at the time of this interview, I think she did exactly what she needed to. And he did say some things that made me wonder. And he did continue to cover the ass of the family. He did confirm for me once again that they do watch social media and they know what we're saying. And they try to adapt and adjust and conform in the next interview to be a little bit more of what we think they should be. He should be more so. I also noticed how he threw Allie completely under the bus because he can't let her look good, right? You have to attack their credibility. That's the first thing you do if you want to try to take someone down. I mean, it's the oldest trick in the book. So he just said it real short and sweet. I don't even know her damn name. I think it's Sherry or something. But yeah, they pissed off at us because we wouldn't lie to the police for them. So they trying to do everything they can to get back at us. Short and sweet. And he was done with it. Because all the crusaders for Dawn and Candace are going to be like, see, oh, they just hate me. Well, guess what, Dawn? I said that was a possibility. Somebody to drag Candace through the mud Allie dragged her through last night and put all that out there as subtly as she did, it definitely could be some hateration. But then again, that's extra. I mean, that's extreme. That's like catch me outside. Like, really? I don't think it would take all that. But I don't 100% trust Allie either. Let me say that. I think there was a lot of truth in there, but that she was holding back, sort of like Grandma Balboa, Grandma Olson. I mean, Grandma Olson, Sam Olson's grandmother. I think she's protecting her son, Dalton, to a certain extent, or trying to. So instead of lying, you might omit the truth, which is still a lie. And I think Allie did a little bit of that. Leslie was all over it, but when it comes to Hunter, she was omitting. They don't want to get a kid in trouble. I get it. I don't approve, but I get it. And Dawn is doing the same thing. They've all done it. Let's see. What else? We may have to go into this one live so I can react. I know a couple people said they wanted to hear me react to this. I don't know why y'all want my crazy butt to speak on it, because but you know I had something to say, so I might as well share it. So when I'm saying that they watch social media and they adapt, I'm talking about things like this might be the first interview where we didn't hear him hallelujah, praise the Lord from beginning to end. He left it out, except when they discussed it, because he's heard us say it's too much. It's too much, Don. Enough with the religion. He knows, you guys. He knows this man is not half as crazy as you think he is. Now, it may be prison education. I don't know how he learned to think he was slick. But I know when you've got a rap sheet as long as the one I've seen and the type of charges, you have had enough run ins with the law to kind of, know how to handle yourself. Not to mention, you're a reader, Don. You research. I said that before, and you confirmed it in this interview. You've read up on the laws in Arkansas as far as it being a pedophile goes. You know what I'm talking about. You read up on it. I heard it when you said it. It was like you were pretty much just repeating something someone said to you, which is what we do when we read and think we're smart, or someone says something, we take it and run with it. You knew about that. You know about Moderna and all of those little cities surrounding it that are full of kidnapping and crime. There was truth to that. I looked into it. You knew exactly what you were talking about. And today we hear Jay is for Justice confirm that you told her you looked up the statistics on abductions. So it just proves the point that, yeah, y'all be researching this stuff. I knew it. Why was the only question I had. It's just not the kind of information you just gotta have handy, but you know a lot about it, and it's all over there in that arena. That bothers me. So now you know exactly the statistics, and you are just hell bent on this abduction. From the moment you got home and saw your neighbors looking, you knew she had been abducted. You also know that we've been talking about the fact that you live in a desolate ass area with no neighbors really around you. So the druggies and stuff that you were talking about, we and I certainly did insinuated that they would come into your house if they were in that area, because there are no neighbors in that circle. It's you and grandma's trailer. Y'all got a nice piece of land, by the way. Your mother left you a beautiful piece of land. But today you want to make sure we know that there are other neighbors. We can't see them though because there's trees, but there's neighbors right around you. Okay, then. Thank you, Don, because that was my question. What neighbors? So now you pointed out, I think his name was John. And then the other neighbor who's nameless, I think he's about 200 feet away, something like that. I wonder if the nameless neighbor, because he said John and then the other one was just called other neighbor. I wonder if that other neighbor is the same neighbor that Allie couldn't really talk about last night. But anyway, you pointed those guys out to us. So So either you're saying, like I said in the in that video, if it's not you and grandma, and now you're introducing neighbors we can actually see and walk to from your house, then you're saying one of them had some people coming around for drugs and stuff. You're still bringing, it's got to be somebody, Don. But you follow it up with the fact that most of those guys are pretty good. Well, damn. Where were the druggies going? I'm just trying to understand where the druggies were going. Make it make sense, Don. See, that's the difference. If I talk to you, I need you to make it make sense. All the little snippets are great because we're gonna dissect them like freaking frogs. But I would want you to just make it make sense. How exactly? You know what I'm saying? How exactly? What's up with the fishing? Allie said when Candace came to pick up her son, she said, "Can Hunter go fishing?" She did not flinch on that. She didn't say and or swimming. None of that. Now you're saying, nope, they went swimming. Candace said, well, we just thought of it out the blue. We were at Walgreens and decided to go. But you picked him up with every intention on eventually hitting some water. Or somebody's lying. No, I changed that. Somebody's lying. Because they're two different stories. So somebody has to be lying. Somebody. I think, as we're calling him, an H knows more. That's why the cops still have his phone. That's why his mother was omitting a little bit. That's why Leslie was omitting a little bit. He knows more, which means his mother knows more, which is why she was talking in past tense at a certain point in the interview. And then when they asked her what she thought, she said she really believes Summer's gone. I think she knows more. Maybe she just feels it in her heart like some of us do. But I think because of the relationship I have with my son, and she talked like they were pretty close. She's damn near letting him call shots in the house. So I figure they should have a pretty good line of communication. And she should know what's up with him. And she would know what's going on if she does. What else did you say, Dawn? Let me think. So much. And you don't even think you're saying a lot, but you are saying so much. Oh my God. It's more so the covering your ass for me. The way he fills in the blanks from the last interview or the last, last time he opened his mouth. He fills in those cracks. And for me, that's the deception right there. Why do you feel the need to do that? But you won't address the one thing we all really want to know. What happened? What did grandma say? Why are you not even mentioning grandma's name? It's like y'all acting like she wasn't even there. She's damn near a prime suspect because she was one of the last people to see the baby alive. But we don't talk about her. That's sketchy to me. And he explained to us that he didn't mean that he just didn't have hope. He just was saying he got to believe in God. Okay, yeah, fine, good, well, good. I'm a believer too, Don. But if my son was missing, I'm just saying some of the words that come out of my mouth would have something more to do with him. And it wouldn't be the same fumbling, bumbling. The first time you really said anything about her, you repeated exactly what they said at church the day before. Summer ran around this church and everybody just loved her. Yeah, we heard that one. I was so irritated when I heard that. This guy does not work for me. I don't know how much clearer I can be about it, but my reaction to this is that I call continued bullshit. There is deception in this household and in this family. And I don't care if they're rich or poor or black or white. I don't care which denomination they claim. I don't care what drugs they choose. What I'm saying is there's deception here, period. A liar is a liar. He don't have to be on drugs to be telling damn lies. He don't have to be a country bumpkin or a city slicker. Some people just lie. They're just liars, period. And in my opinion, this guy is one. I'm not saying he did it. I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know any of it, but I don't have anything that leads me to believe he actually killed her. Now, his niece makes me think, I mean, hell, if you fondle your niece, I don't know. I don't know how that works. Maybe there's a sex offender that can let us know. Are you disgusted with the thought of fondling your daughter, but you'll fondle your niece? Or is it one and the same? Because I'm having trouble seeing how you would really differentiate. I mean, it's wrong both ways. So if you can do one, I feel like you can do the other, but maybe there's a line that you draw somewhere. I don't know. But that makes me wonder just about you as a person. But again, if we find out it's verified you were at work, you couldn't have done it unless it happened earlier, hmm, which is also possible. The point is, the cover ups and the lies keep coming, which means there's still deception. So it really doesn't matter what you say, Don. I can't trust it. It doesn't add up. You got weak ass dogs that you said probably would let somebody walk right in your house. All them dogs? You're telling me all your dogs. They just weak. Not one biter? Impossible. I'm telling you, my cat would trip out. You can't have all those dogs and nobody barks. Monica Sherrod, you can't. Not unless they know the person. Oh, speaking of knowing the person, you told Jay that, yeah, of course, the only person she might walk up to would be somebody from the church, but, they would never do that. Well, hold up. Hold up. They fit the bill. She knows them. She trusts them. She's close to them. The dogs wouldn't bark at them. Hold up. If you said she was abducted, then we got to be realistic. If it wasn't one of y'all in the house, it was somebody close to the family. That's just how this usually goes, especially given your circumstances, where you live, everybody being home, people in the yard at the time. It doesn't add up, Don. But if you wanted to, don't protect anybody. I don't know. Was it Mr. Dotson? Did he play the flute and lure her? I'm just saying. You said only people she would go up to might be somebody from the church. You said it, and I heard you. That's why I said keep talking, Don. You're getting more and more comfortable right where we need you to be. You think you got this. How many people am I pissing off right now? Because I know there's some Don lovers, but I'm sorry. I'm not saying you shouldn't love him. He might be a really nice guy. It's just not my opinion based on what I see. Just like you have your opinion of me or whatever you have an opinion about. Because I don't know anybody on earth that doesn't have an opinion. Let's don't all become saints all of a sudden, okay? What else did you say, Don? What else? Let me think. Let me think. So I also heard Don say that Candace and Allie were cool at the time of her picking up Hunter, excuse me, H, and taking him away for 4 hours. Not 15 or 20 minutes. They were gone from 10 or 10:30 till 2 or 2. Yeah. But Candace didn't tell us that. Neither did you, Don. This was your grand opportunity since you like covering asses and clarifying things subliminally so much. Why didn't you set us straight on this? Because if they went swimming, forget the time frame just for the moment, because you don't know times either, let you tell it. But if they went swimming and your baby slid on a rock and had to be saved by a 15-year-old boy because mama was standing over on the bank somewhere tick-tocking or whatever, finishing off a twisted tea, I don't know. But if that happened, either she kept it from you or you are keeping it from us. This is what I mean by constant deception, omitting. This is why I can't trust this man. How do you trust somebody who's lied to you repeatedly? And anybody who hasn't seen the lie or the twist, let me borrow your glasses. I'll wear them. I will. I will try to turn that other cheek and see it your way. Because right now, and since day one, I haven't believed a word coming out of this man's mouth. And I am still waiting on at least one tear to drop from somewhere. Because based on what I've seen, experience, and some research, and if you want to see just a little bit of it, go to the When They Lie playlist. Based on experience, he looks like every other parent that ever lied and said they didn't know what happened to their kid. So does Candace. And the other people involved, we haven't heard a peep. Little bit from grandma. Okay, the piece of candy. The boys are too young, but they were the last ones with Summer. And that came from their mother. We didn't make that up, Internet. We didn't. That was a fact. At least she said it was. What else, Don? So who's lying in the situation I just talked about where Candace pulls up and says, can that's hard. Can H go with me fishing? Or did H call Candace and say, I want to come with? Even though he would have to know she was going somewhere in the first place to ask if he could come with. I'm thinking Candace is the liar just based on that. But let me finish the scenario. So if she didn't roll up and ask, can he go fishing? Then he reached out to her, randomly said, where are you going today? And can I go? And then because my grandma's an F&B. Okay. Talking about the great grandma from what Allie said. So did that happen? Because if that happened, then like I said, he would have to know you were going somewhere, which means we got to add Candace into this equation and say, did Candace call Hunter and say, hey, we're going to Walgreens. You want to come out and go to the lake and go fishing with us? He had to know you were going in order to ask, can he come with? Y'all see this, what I'm trying to work out? Okay. So it's a hot mess. It's deception. And you have to find out who's lying in order to get to the bottom of, the crime. Ultimately, as the FBI, that's what they're doing. But what we just need to see is that there's deception from everywhere. This case is hard to trust. Everybody has something to protect. That seems more important than putting Summer to rest right now. Or sending the whole SWAT team into wherever he thinks she is to go get her. Since you're so hell bent about an abduction. Or are you a true crime buff, and you just watch so much of this shit that now it's your life. And you've convinced yourself this. I don't know, Dawn. I don't know what you're hiding or why, but I know that you are. I know that everybody's telling different stories. Now, Allie came in and really busted shit up because her story introduced fishing, which we hadn't heard about. It confirmed that Candace absolutely had alcohol with the minor, and that wasn't the first time. She also did it with her daughter back in the day, the daughter that you made sleep out in the truck that night. I mean, yeah, she crapped all over y'all. That interview was another good one another good one. Because we're getting closer, we're getting deeper into this thing. We're getting all up in this rabbit hole. So you can keep talking to us with these short, choppy sentences. Everybody trying to speak on it when they want to and clam up when they don't want to. And we're just gonna keep putting the pieces together. And there's a lot of people putting pieces together. And we're not law enforcement, we're just looking. But it matters. It all matters whether you want to believe it or not. It's relevant. YouTube is relevant. The likes, the shares, the clicks, the views, they're relevant. They shine light on things and people. And that's a win right there. Keep on talking, Don. Keep on talking, sir. Oh my gosh. He also covered their asses or tried to about the flower garden because at least I was kind of like, I'm gonna tell you, when I first saw it, I was like, where the flower garden at? Because that's a bunch of pots with some cactuses sitting in it. But I'm not from that neck of the woods. I did look at the turf or terrain, and it was like, yeah, you can't really plant things there. So maybe that's why they went this route. Seen those things used before, but I never heard it called a garden. But he clarified that today. It was just some cactuses. Oh, y'all didn't hear that? Okay, no problem.
Just took a picture of her sleeping.
Right.
Is that a picture or is that a TikTok video? Something
That's
like
a
that.
picture, I think.
Okay. All right. So then grandma, Summer, and mom go home and they're outside in the garden.
Yeah. They said they're planting flowers, but actually it was some kind of like cactus flower or
Oh,
something
okay.
like that.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever. They were.
Yep, just cactuses. We knew that. We were looking for the flower garden, but thank you for watching social media and realizing we had an issue with that and coming back to clarify that, Don. Yeah, we saw that they were cactuses. Do you remember what he said about the dogs? I just mentioned it, that they were weak. But this is why I said it.
Someone abducted her. We don't know if they come in the basement or if Summer might have stepped outside and walked around the back of the house.
Okay. So, yeah. Do you guys have dogs?
Yeah, but they don't know when. They bark at dumb things and don't bark at others.
Now, why would you immediately go there? Nobody asked you about your dog's barking yet. She didn't even get the question out. And this man is like, yeah, oh yeah, but they don't bark at everything. He's reading social media and trying to keep up with the narrative. It is so painfully obvious. Oh my God, Don. Jeez.
Yeah.
Do you think so? You don't think the dogs would have like alerted?
Well, I've driven
if someone
with several times and they don't even know I'm there. I've had to, I walk in the door and they didn't even know I pulled up. Drove up. It could have been an opportunity with someone seen her. It could have been someone she knows.
I think it's fair to say that not all dogs are territorial and have that demeanor about them. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think.
See, I love how she plays devil's advocate because Donald, if you don't hush, okay, you didn't even have to say that. They don't. You immediately wanted us to know that the dogs may not always bark. Just like you wanted us to know the basement door was unlocked, even though Allie H's mom last night said that Candace told her it was locked. And that was the first night Summer went missing. That was before you guys perfected your story, so you think. Well, y'all hadn't decided yet that it would make more sense if the door was unlocked already. Probably too little to unlock it or something. I don't know. You hadn't perfected your story. But your dogs, they kind of suck. I mean, when you come home, they don't even know you're there. They don't know you drove up. You drive a whole truck. The whole house should damn near hear you at a certain point coming up the holler. Lord Don, and what was that mess I was talking about? His neighbors? Tell you better. Since he decided to let us know for the first time that there definitely are people in walking distance. He's got to make his story sound good, y'all. It's too many holes. He's filling it in with with that caulking that they use at his drywall job.
No,
Yeah.
there's been nothing since then.
So how many? So your road is it? I mean, I just see like the clips I've seen on the news, and it looks
Yeah.
like you live in the country.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
right
how
out
many
in the country.
neighbors do you guys have?
Well, it's hard to see them, with all the trees and everything. But we got neighbors, all around us. Really, I mean.
But you can't see them from your
Well,
house.
I mean, we
You-
got John that lives in a trailer about 500 yards away. Our neighbors about 250 yards away.
Everybody's really
But
spread out.
a lot of these guys are really good people.
Right. Is there?
So, which ones are not really good, fellas? See, we might get somewhere, Don, if you want to go ahead and share. Because again, if you know who it is, all you have to do is tell them. They'll go get them. Stop hollering Mexico. At the same time, you just introduce your neighbors. And you said druggies come up in there, around there to the neighbors trying to get. So one of your neighbor's druggie friends took her because all your neighbors are pretty good folks. Donnie. Now I want to understand how Candace called Don, but then she had to go get her mom's phone to call 911 because they live in the country. I know it doesn't make any sense, but I didn't say it. He did. Watch.
So
Okay.
so Candace realizes, oh my gosh, Summer's gone. She calls
Right.
you,
She calls
freaking
me.
out.
Yes.
And what did
Yep.
she say? I can't find her.
She says, I can't find Summer. I says, okay, hang up from me and call 911. So she did that. She had to go get her mom's phone because we live in the country. Hey, hang up from me and call 911. So she did that. She had to go get her mom's phone because we live in the country. And so when she hung up, I called 911 and they transferred me to Hawkins County.
So, what? Wait, what, Don? She called you and you told her to hang up and call 911, and she had to go get her mom's phone because y'all live in the country again now. Not so many neighbors around, maybe, I don't know, but you live in the country. You use it when you need it. And so she had to go get mom's phone even though she was talking to you on a phone. I don't get it. She got off the phone with you, went and got mom's phone, but then you called 911 anyway. It doesn't add up at all. No way, no how. Confused? Hell no. Full of shit? Absolutely. Absolutely. See, those lies, they start getting intertwined. That's the problem. And they always said this growing up. When you tell one lie, you got to tell another and another and another. That's what's going to get y'all caught up. Exactly that. Now let's talk about, let's talk about this one. Hold on. So, more lack of emotion. Dawn tells us that they handled it like a criminal investigation. They came in the next day, CSI style, grabbing up her clothes, and then Jay is for justice. She's empathetic and she apologizes to him just for what he's going through. And he says, "Oh, it's okay. It's just part of it." And then she went on to explain, "Well, yeah, but it shouldn't be happening at all." Duh, Don. Hello, wake up. Seriously, man, wake up. Ooh. This is where people think you aren't very intelligent. See, because you flip flop. And in this case, I'm inclined to agree with them. You didn't think that. Oh my gosh, I can't. With Don, y'all, he makes my head. He makes my head hurt. It's not okay, Don. It's not okay. It's not all acceptable that your 5-year-old was sent into the house to be monitored by minors. She went into the basement of your home and disappeared while you were at work. It's not okay. If you can't show any other emotion, can you get pissed off at least? And not at the haters. Just get pissed off because somebody's playing you. If you are innocent, completely believable, then somebody's playing you. At least be mad about that.
They bagged up a lot of her clothes. I think the second or third day they started bagging up all her clothes and anything all kind of stuff.
So sad. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's just part of it,
Yeah, but it shouldn't be anything that ever happens to
one
any.
of the parts that was really eerie to me is one of the officers said that there was a yellow car.
So he rolls right on through that sentence like a California stop. Right on through it. Didn't even stop to engage in the empathy she was trying to offer him. You couldn't even feel it when somebody else felt it for you first. I don't like that. But you were too eager to tell this story.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be anything that ever happens to any.
One of the parts that was really eerie to me is one of the officers said that there was a yellow car, full door, that was just flying out of the area that he passed, and he said he couldn't turn around because he had to go to call, to
He was
our
getting
house.
called to your house for a
Right.
missing.
So he couldn't turn around and go after this person, and she could have very well been in that vehicle.
Well, isn't that convenient? She absolutely could have very well been in that vehicle on the 15th, and all those over 100 agencies, they missed that yellow car. That officer, I guess he never reported that, didn't put that in the report. And several days later, they tell us about a damn red truck. So they completely missed the yellow truck that an officer put his eyeballs on the night of the disappearance during the time of responding to the call. They missed that, and then they told us about a random red truck. I think that red truck. First of all, I think the yellow car is bullshit. Don, where did you get that from? Just like you lied about the polygraph. Oh, you omitted. Excuse me. You told us that you took it and you passed, but you forgot to tell us about the fact that you were inconclusive because you kept falling asleep the first time. Or was it drugs that nobody in the house takes, which is more bullshit? I don't know. But you're a liar. I do know that. So it's easy to mistrust, especially when you're telling us that an officer who had just got an Amber Alert for a missing 5-year-old is racing in to respond. Not alone, there's other officers going too. He ain't the only one on earth. But he cannot turn around and check out this car that might have his missing girl in it because this car is flying. Sounds like he was breaking the speed limit too, but he could not stop and check that car because he was headed to your house. It doesn't make sense. That officer, it seems to me, would have got on his radio and said, "I got a yellow car speeding out of town. I'm headed this way. I'll meet y'all there." He would have called that in, I think. But just like Don told us early on in Bobo's interview, there was two other suspects. He said he just creates shit. I think I don't know. Maybe he saw it on Facebook, but he said it. We've never heard the TBI in any press release talk about any suspects. Don said they had two they were looking at. And this was like on day 3 of Summer Missing. Check the Summer Well stories out. It's there. I'm not telling you anything you can't find and hear for yourself. That's why I like to do these clips and pieces like this. You don't have to be like, I thought he said, no, 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 listen to him right here. He gonna say it again. And then if you hear something different, let's talk about it. But we don't have to pull from memory because he says too much and everything's all spread out. So we need it back to back, just like this. So let's continue analyzing. Where were we? Oh, that's right. There was a mystery man in a mystery person in a yellow car the night that the Amber Alert went out. A cop saw the car but couldn't turn around because he was headed to Don's already. She could have been in that car. Guess what that means, y'all? She's far, far away from here. They always got to leave you on that note because that's the narrative, period. And it might be true. We don't know. She could be far, far away. We don't know. If she dropped Hunter off at 2:30, the call that went out to dispatch was about 6:30. That's 4 more hours. You can move around a little bit in 4 hours. I could get into California from where I'm at within 4 hours, passing by a lot of desert and everything. Imagine if I was in the country, miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of terrain where you could possibly hide a body and no one would know to look there. I'm just saying. So when we think about his abduction theory and we hear the next thing that he's going to say to us, doesn't it get weird? Somebody abducted this baby all the way up your private piece of land, dirt road that curves around your home. And it's a dead end street.
Holy smokes.
Because he was really flying.
So he made
Yeah.
mention of that. So that
Yes,
could possibly
to
be.
another officer, and
Wow.
I overheard it or whatever, and that just has been haunting me ever since. Big yellow 4-door car or some sort. I don't know.
Wow.
Yes.
Do you live on a dirt road or is it paved?
Well, no, our driveway is dirt up our driveway with we have it goes around the house, you know. But,
Oh, yeah, because you guys are set back from the road.
Yeah, Ben Hill Road is paved, but it's a dead end road.
Yep. So I guess the yellow car with the 4 doors parked way down at the end of Ben Hill. And then, as Dawn said, ran up and grabbed her and ran down. Because he certainly didn't drive up a dead end and make a U-turn and drive back out and no dogs barked and Candace didn't hear a car and right? That's not possible. Tell us a little more about that, Don.
Yeah, our driveway's dirt, gravel, and so.
So did this cop say anything about like whereabouts the car was?
He was headed down Beach Creek Road towards Rogersville, I believe.
And that's pretty close to your place.
Well,
Or not?
Beach Creek Road's a pretty long road. But I'd say, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean,
But
would
it's
it been
hard,
like
yeah,
10 minutes or, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know for sure on that where it was at.
oh,
but
where it was at on that road.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I don't know.
insane. Have you asked
Yeah.
them about that again?
No, we're not talking.
They're not giving you any
No.
info.
And if you try to talk to one of them guys, usually it's like, well, I'm just a little guy. They don't tell me no.
Yeah, they're tight-lipped because they don't want you to know. You're trying to hang around the crime scene and stay in the loop, and they're not crazy, Don. They know you're not just a grieving father who can't be alone, and that's why you're hanging out with the police. You're going up there because you're trying to find out what they know. Allie told us last night that Candace went over to her house and talked to Hunter. Maybe, you know what? Let me take a little bit of that back because right at the top of my head, I'm not sure if he came to the house or she went to his job, but she did go and question Hunter. Damn it. H. She went and she questioned him about what the police were saying to him. Why do you care? You didn't even want to come out and talk to the cops, Candace, the first night. And then you finally talk to us, but why do you care? Why do y'all care so much about what they know? I know you're the parents. Yes, you should care. But you guys know what I mean, except for the nitpicky ones. Pick away. You either care or you don't. And if you care, where's your emotion? Because I think you care for a totally different reason. That's what I'm saying. Very, very interesting answer to the question about why Grandma Bly isn't speaking out. Very, very, very interesting answer. Especially the part about she already lost her daughter and now she's lost her granddaughter too. Same exact way. That's damn near a quote. Summer's gone, y'all. And Don knows it. He knows.
Yeah.
Okay, so she lives there on the property with you guys.
Yes.
And everyone wants to know why grandma hasn't spoken out.
Well, because of all the negative media stuff that was happening in this case is what she went through with her daughter when she came up missing 11 years ago.
So
And it's the same thing.
this is probably very triggering and
Yes.
for her.
Yeah, she's already lost one daughter. Now she's lost her granddaughter the same exact way.
Yeah, he said that. And then he goes on to talk about it's a serious problem in our country. Yeah, but 2 times in one family? That's not our country. That's your damn family. Now, those odds are slim. That is a serious problem. It's a really serious problem. What the hell have y'all done? What have. And then he talks about Mexico again, and then hoping that the military, somebody would all get together and go find all these kids that are lost and missing and abducted and gone, gone, gone like summer. This man knows. What's next, Dawn? Let's keep rolling.
Yeah. Yeah. Crime's getting worse for sure in so many ways. And so, drugs, meth, and just keeps coming across the border like nothing. But, in the open borders, I don't know for sure, but when I went to Mexico, they didn't even check you going to Mexico.
Right.
Coming back, yeah, but going across to Mexico, they didn't check you at all.
I'm just wondering when Don went to Mexico. Stop blaming everything on Mexico, Don. Cut it out. Cut it out. We're not doing that. This problem is in your home, in your front yard, maybe your backyard. This problem is at home. Yeah. Well, I think Don feels like all the problems in the world will be all right if Trump was just back in office.
Controversy there.
Well,
We start.
sure.
Now, I'll give it to Don. Now, I don't have a house full of children, so I don't know. But I know that I can be terrible with dates of birth. Not my son's, though. I know it. I know it off the top of my head. I know the time he was born. That's me. I'm not going to be that critical. See, Don? It's not personal. I know we're not all the same. But some things you just, majority rules, But not on this one. I'll give you that. My grandmother used to call everybody's name in the house trying to get to the one person she was talking to. And eventually she might just stop and tell you, look, you know who I'm talking to. Come here. So yeah, we don't have to remember every single kid's birthday. They answered you and they rattled it off real quick. We can move on. That's not like not knowing exactly, how long you've been married. We didn't even have to get a date. You didn't even know how long you've been married. Now I got trolls in my chat telling me you're not married and my information is bad. But I got the same information everybody else got. She even had your last name until like a week ago, and she said she wanted to go by Bly from what I was hearing in the interview. I thought Grandma Candace Bly was clarifying her last name, but as I heard it from Teresa last night, it sounds like the rumor is that Candace Wells would like now to only be referred to as Candace Bly. Weird, for real. But I'm just saying, are y'all married? Because we're a little confused, but we think you are. Or is it a common law marriage? And that's the thing. I don't know. Allie said she saw ceremonial pictures that you guys did in a building. Maybe it was like a justice of the peace situation. Anyway, doesn't mean you're a killer. Certainly not the worst thing that's happened. And that honestly could be an honest little mistake right there. I give you that. I'm not going to just But let's see what else I got.
Possible. What are their ages? And
13. How old are you? What? 11. 11, and how old's Waylon? 9. I'm not
wow.
forgetting on birthdays. Sorry.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how are they holding up, and what
They're
are they?
doing okay. Let's stop a minute and think about summer. You know, we're upset about that, but they can go a lot further, longer than I can without thinking about it. But
Glad to know that the boys are doing okay. They're just babies. I mean, they're just children, even if they're implicated later, which is possible, totally possible. They were the last ones in the house with her. They were left alone to monitor their baby sister. Okay, I'll say Jay, and that's the little boy that was in the video that his dad was hugging on. That is the one that Allie told us last night was he got in trouble when he left before he had to leave. He had to go with his dad to Utah because he was down there in Tennessee getting into their weed and drinking. So some of us saw that dad was comforting the little boy, and others saw that the little boy was comforting dad. But I'm inclined to believe both were going on and that it is possible Jay knows what happened to Summer. Hey, it is what it is. Kids can't watch kids. It wouldn't ultimately be his fault, whatever it was. He should have been supervised. But I'm not going to pretend that I don't see that possibility. Oh, I hope we're not doing that.
Yeah, and they didn't hear anything. So that was another question. When Candace went inside, I'm sure she went to the boys and said, "Where's Summer?" And they said she's playing downstairs. Did I'm sure the boys were interviewed by police and all that.
Yeah, they took them to specialists because you can't just interview kids. So
right.
Had to take them clear to some specialist somewhere to be interviewed. Yeah.
Right.
You have to do it a certain way. Yeah.
Right, right. And I just want to make note that the boys are in yours and Candace's custody at your home right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, they definitely had to take them to a specialist. They had to take them away from you guys. And they had to make sure that they were getting clear answers. So that makes total sense. And I hope they got some really good information out of those boys because those people are really smart and they know how to deal with children gently and get the information that they may be holding back due to trauma or fear or whatnot. So, whatever they're going through, I really hope they're getting some counseling and stuff because if an accident did happen and the boys are responsible, that can affect their lives too. And it still falls back on the parents that left them unsupervised. The parent. And then it falls on the parents if one parent covers for the other and they all cover for the kids and it all becomes a cover up. So that's why y'all still in this messy pot. Because we don't know yet. What else? While y'all still have custody, try to get your crap together. Meaning, stop taking these inappropriate photos and putting your kids on YouTube. Work it out, whatever's going on with Jay, so he's not trying to do drugs and drinking at such a young age. Keep your wife in the house and away from 15-year-old boys. I mean, damn, what else? Y'all got some things to work on, though, before those kids are taken. Or before they come up missing like Summer, if that's really what happened. But after Don confirmed that the boys are still at home with them right now, he went on to clarify that's, the case as long as the threats don't get worse. So apparently, based on what Don is saying, people are calling them and threatening to beat the truth out of them. I believe it. I believe it. Y'all think we're bad. The internet is fierce. Facebook, there's a lot of people really pissed off because they've seen Jacqueline and Giselle lie. They saw Susan Smith. They saw Caleb. They saw uh, McNabb. They saw all these other parents that stood there and tried to lie to our face, and you look like them. It is what it is. So I understand that. I'm not condoning it. I don't think anybody should be threatened, but I understand.
Now?
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
unless the threats continue and get worse. Yeah.
The threats. What do you mean?
There's been lots of threats of people who are going to come up here and going to beat the truth out of us
What?
and all kind of other stuff. And we've had people come up one night with flashlights, and we had to call the police. And I don't know, just stuff like that, stuff that people put on
Are the
there.
what are the police doing about those type of things?
The FBI warned them on Facebook that something, I can't remember, but all this, I don't remember. But there's one guy, he said he was being real threatening to me, and I said, well, I'll make sure I let the FBI know about what you're saying. I told him, if you don't stop, I'm going to the FBI. Give him that chance.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't heard nothing since. So,
And then Don tells us that he has, he might have slipped up and fell short of the glory of God. Well, he didn't use those words, but I've slipped up and said some things I didn't mean. I think he might be referring to the comment about what we can all do. Ones of us that don't, because he only listens to the nice people and God, and everybody else can, what. You might feel bad about that. Or maybe he said something else in a Facebook group that I hadn't heard about, but he's claiming that he done got a little funky at times, and he feels a little bad about that. And I agree, Jay. For somebody in his situation, you do have the right to tell people, get the hell out of my business. You do. You have a right to be frustrated. You got a lot going on. I'll give you that. Why not? But also try to understand where we're coming from. We all love and care for your child. Some of us feel like we feel it more than you do. We don't know if that's true or not, but we love and care for your child. I don't know anybody out there that's talking about this, whether you want to call them a sleuth or a crime buff or a YouTuber or a reporter. I don't know anybody talking about it that doesn't really, really just care about Summer. So maybe you could empathize with us a little bit. Maybe everybody who's defending you can understand why we're so pissed off. Because we just don't feel like we're getting everything you can give us to help us find your baby. I don't know. Empathy goes both ways. So this little bombshell came out last night in Allie's interview with Unmasked. Everybody wanted that clarification. We had never heard anything about a lie detector test from law enforcement, period. But people were a little divided on that. They weren't sure where they heard it from. Well, we heard it from Dawn, for sure. Both times. The first time, they even had me down there, with a lie detector test and everything. That was the first time. And I'm just imitating him. I'm not making fun of his country swag. And I'm from the country. I know country. It's all good. But that's what he said. And then the next time he said, my wife passed her lie detector test. And Candace, now that I'm remembering, wrote it in her post when her and grandma finally decided they were going to speak up just to let us know I passed. I passed. Ha ha. Well, you could have, and then again, maybe you didn't. Because law enforcement won't always tell you you failed. Unless they're pulling a Chris Watts on you and they want to tell you right to your face right damn now, because guess what? They already know everything. They just want you to tell them now. But in your case, they don't know everything. They're onto some stuff, though. They have to be. If the majority of us regular people can see this stuff, these changing stories, these lies, all these moving parts, they know. There's no question about that part. So we don't know unless law enforcement really confirms it. But I like to think we have a better version of the truth now because Allie came out. Before that, they were going to leave it where they spend it. Okay. They spent it over there and said, hey, we both took it. We both passed. Get off our backs. Then Allie comes up. I'm sorry, Leslie comes up and tells us, if she passed, why did she call Hunter and say, I'm in the back of a police car on my way to retake the polygraph because I failed the first one? Damn near verbatim. So now, guess what? Don's got to cover his ass the way they do once they see social media and they have to adapt. So today, he's telling the truth. The whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help him God. But you had two other chances to say that on live air or on the phone with Jeff Bobo. But you didn't come clean until the skeleton came out of the closet from Allie. Deception again. Now we know Allie didn't even know for sure what Don did. They both said, we're not sure. We don't know. They weren't just saying stuff. They said, we don't know about Don. But Candace, she called H and told him. But Don today lets us know, yeah, she didn't pass hers the first time because she was so nervous she couldn't even get it together. And I didn't pass mine the first time because I was so sleepy. So both of y'all essentially kind of failed the first time. I mean, okay, not really, but maybe. Could have both been, yours should have been called inconclusive because you were dozing off. That means you were hooked up to the machine and everything. She was too nervous. I don't know if they ever even put her on the machine or if they just probably called it inconclusive as well because you're too nervous and it's all over the charts. But what's interesting about that, you know what? Let's see if I have this open on my phone. Now, I'll wait because I want to show you guys on the screen. Very interesting the way to try to beat a lie detector test. We'll talk about it later, but basically, you can just stay a wreck, a panicky wreck. You could be inconclusive. If you have even a Xanax or antidepressant, certain ones, you could be inconclusive. And if I remember correctly, there's a certain drug out there that can almost beat it. But these are the reasons why they don't want to pay attention to the lie detectors in court. Not admissible because they can be manipulated. So ultimately, what I'm saying is it doesn't mean jack shit. If they did actually take them, it means nothing really, except that the detectives, they now know a little more than they did. They can read you better after seeing how you lie and how you tell the truth. Even if you pass. They could also tell you passed when you didn't. They could do that just to keep you thinking a certain way. The cops can lie to you if you didn't know. That's legal to a certain extent. So, with all that said, why'd you lie about it? Why lie in the first place by omitting? Why not just say, well, the first time I tried to take it, I was so sleepy. I've been up every night worried about my daughter. I couldn't even, I wanted to do it, but I was literally nodding off. Why not just say that? Even if you didn't think of it the first time you talked about it in an interview, we know you go back and refresh and research and come out fighting. So why didn't you clear that up for us ever? I think it's because you didn't really expect it to get out. But there's too many moving parts, Don. Everything's going to get out. So what you do, like Jeff Bobo advised, is you get ahead of it. You be the first one to spill the beans and you become the good guy. It's the truth, especially if you're really innocent. Now, Candace was nervous, you said. Very, very nervous. And that's why she couldn't take her test. But they had her come back 4 to 5 days later. I'm going to call bullshit on that. You were sleepy. They had you come the very next morning. Yeah, she could have calmed her ass down within a day. If that's all, it was just nerves. That sounds like to me she needed time for her system to become clean because they cannot get a good read on you if there's drugs in your system. And why you would say there's no drug, she ain't touched nothing and she don't even want to drink. Okay, then that means she is a super alcoholic. Because let me tell you, what I know about is some fire. Some people call it gas, some people call it kush. I have a prescription, thank you very much. It's legal in my state, thank you very much. And I'm talking about the most potent you can buy is what I like. And I have never plus ever had my eyes rolled around to the back of my damn head. Okay? I've never. How many blunts do you smoke to get there? I'm just going to ask it like that. Now, if you mix that with alcohol, I guess you could, but I've seen functional alcoholics. Didn't look like that. The only time I've seen that look is from something that's causing a drowsy effect. I think she took like a whole bar and said, okay, I'm ready. Let's do this interview. And that shit was hitting her. Damn near about to make her pass out in the middle of the interview. Maybe that's why your hand was up her back like a puppet. I don't know. Maybe you were pinching her when she said something wrong because Allie insinuated that you would make those kind of moves. Allie also insinuated that you would likely beat Candace's ass if she had hurt Summer because Summer was your angel. See, if you were saying something like that, I mean, you can't say that exactly, but you could show the kind of emotion that would let us know, oh, damn, that was his baby girl. And it would have lined up perfectly. That's why I don't think Candace did it. Because I agree with Allie. If that's your demeanor and your behavior, you would have tripped out. But I do believe Candace left those babies unattended and an accident happened on her watch. And now you're in the thick of things having to cover it up. And you're a little pissed about that. I do believe that. So it still points to a cover up. But I'm thinking it started as an accident. And you're hell bent on tearing up this so-called new Christian life you've been living and going back to the rap sheet, possibly back to prison. What would make you take that risk? And again, I've said it before, I can't think of anything other than my child that I would risk it all for. So are you covering for one of your boys, Don? And your wife for covering it up? That's what I'm feeling. I'm just trying to understand the deception. If everything's on the up and up, why lie? Why omit? There's nothing wrong with this truth right here. You have a right to have been sleepy. She had a right to be shook up completely. Those stories would have been fine to tell us, but you didn't for some reason. Not only did you just not say anything, you said something about it, but you told us what you wanted us to hear. It's not a good look.
One just a minute, because I know you're busy with your family, but I just wanted to ask about the polygraphs because we didn't talk about that yet.
Right.
So you and Candace both took polygraphs. Just one?
Yeah. Well, I hadn't slept for like 2 days. Couldn't sleep. And so when I got around to doing my polygraph, which I agreed to do, I kept falling asleep. So I couldn't, they told me to go home, get some sleep. So I went home and I tried my best to get sleep.
Yeah.
So the next day I took it and passed. And then they got Candace in there and her nerves and everything so bad. She just couldn't do it at all. So they gave her like 4 or 5 days to come back and do her polygraph test, and she passed.
So you guys
Yes.
only right. You had to come back because you weren't you weren't feeling well. You were falling asleep. Obviously, they're not going to get an
Yeah.
accurate result. So
Right.
I wouldn't really call that you completed one. You really completed just one, not two.
Well, I couldn't complete the one.
Right,
So I
so-
completed the second one. Yes. Yes.
So you
That's
were
right.
nodding off during it because you were just,
Right. Yes, that's right.
people have said that she failed one, that Candace failed one and then took a second.
No, it's just that she couldn't. Like, she didn't fail it. She just couldn't do it. She's just so upset. You know.
Yeah.
Some of them questions, that they ask you, just brings back. The first. If you can get Summer off your mind for just 2 seconds, which is impossible, but some questions, bring it all back, and you lose it.
Yeah.
Would you hurt? Have you done something with your little girl, or what? Just I don't know, just questions, that they have to ask. Did you hurt your little girl or whatever? But
Yeah. So you guys both were told that you passed them.
yes,
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
yeah, no problem.
And they have, and the investigators have come back a few times, you said, to search the house.
Yes,
And took some of Summer's things. One last question for you
okay.
before I let you go.
Right.
Do you think that Summer would have gone off with someone willingly? Just being innocent, social
I
little
don't know.
Summer?
I don't know now if some of our church members, some of them, she might go up to them and say hi because she loves them so much, but I know they would never.
Yeah, I mean, I think any
You know,
child has an innocence about them. And that's why,
Yeah.
this back in the 80s when I was growing up,
Yeah.
it was, can you help me find my puppy?
Yeah,
Because no innocent little child
Yeah.
is going to say no.
right.
No,
I
and
that's possible. I don't know. Anything's possible. Words like that, puppy and stuff. Yeah,
there's
Yeah.
people that want to
Yeah.
take children. They use all sorts of things.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just, is it possible that Summer came back outside and no one saw? Is your house
Well, yeah,
layout
it's possible she come out the back door, and because she liked to play behind the house there. We planted some roses. Her and Summer and her mother planted some roses there and some other flowers, and she likes to just play right there, especially when it's cooler out because the sun always shines right there really good. But she loved to be outside, and there's many times we'd be in the house and I'd say, "You guys left Summer outside alone. Go get her." And
right,
because she didn't want to be inside. She
right.
wanted to be outside.
She just loved to be outside playing.
And that's what kills me, because if she's locked away somewhere and she can't be outside and play and all this stuff, and the fright and the trauma, just the thought of all that just kills me.
Let's just hope she's not locked away somewhere, Don. Jesus. And y'all say our minds go dark. Because we looked at a picture where she was pale and looking like her nails are changing colors, and we thought maybe we saw death. But this man says she's been abducted, a bad guy took her, she's been tortured, now she's locked away. But that's okay, I guess. So we're back towards the beginning of J is for Justice podcast because I just kind of jumped in where I was at, if that makes sense. So we started in the middle as far as my reaction. And there's just a couple of minutes in the beginning that I didn't react to. And well, I can't do you like that. So I backed it up. And here, let's see. Jay is going to clarify the fishing versus swimming comment or conflict as much as she can with Don.
I know this is really super hard and you're doing a great job. You really are.
Thank you.
Okay, so can we go to that day? Can we go to June 15th now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I know Hunter's mother did an interview with another YouTube channel where she spoke about Candace coming and picking up Hunter and asking if he wanted to go fishing that day
Well,
with Summer.
they've been kind of friends, for a long time. Inviting them out to our house where they could play because, where they were living, it was pretty bad. But
So Candace and Hunter's mom were friends?
yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and all the other kids that they have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have several other kids, and but Hunter wanted to go to the lake. He was going to go swimming while they was waiting on her to fill her prescription or whatever. They're always doing stuff with Summer, as you can see in the pictures, going here and there. But I'm always at work,
So he is just smacking up, flipping, and rubbing down that question, y'all. He ain't even trying to answer it. Give me a flipping break. But what I did hear is that Candace is friends with a bunch of damn kids, and that he knew before they even left that they were going swimming. There was no damn, oh, we're at Walgreens, we might as well run across. If you did come up with that thought, you came up with it before you left your house, not while you were waiting just to pass the time, since Warriors was right up the road, the way you said it. Again, unnecessary deception. I mean, no matter what you went for, fishing or swimming or scuba diving, you went to pick up a minor to go kick it with you. So it doesn't really matter the context of the story. The wrong was done there. And Allie, you allowed him to go, sweetheart. Not a good look. He is a child. There was absolutely no reason he needed to get into that car. Period. Especially if you don't even rock with Candace no more. Y'all not even cool no more. I'm sorry, but again, like I said in the live last night, if we're not cool, you're not cool with my kids. Only person I would get down like that with is my ex-husband because we got the court order and we got a co-parent. He's not the worst, but we're not BFFs. But he can still get his child. Anybody else? Stay the hell away from us. We are a unit, a team, a partnership. You cannot come pick him up and take him off anywhere. If I won't even go anywhere with you because I feel like you got tendencies and issues in your life that I don't want to be a part of, then my child can't be a part of it. So that's where I get a question mark with Allie. Why did you let that happen anyway? Is Dawn telling the truth? Y'all were still cool? Or are y'all not cool? And why are we dealing with another lie or partial truth anyway? Did we go fishing or did we go swimming? Were you cool with Candace or were you not? What's up? Are you just hating on them because you're mad because they didn't cover you when your daughter was sleeping with a 12-year-old? And why the hell is your daughter? You understand the whole circle is a hot mess. A literal web of deceit. Where is it coming from? Who is being protected? And where the hell is Summer? Because we have to know all this to find her. I hope y'all understand that. We got to unravel this mess. And that's why we're so frustrated. They keep creating a bigger mess as we try to get through the thickets and find this baby.
which is fine.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But
And you're a
fine.
hard worker. You work and you do drywall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard job. That's
Yeah.
physical labor.
It takes all your time, for sure.
Absolutely, especially when you're raising a big family like you guys have.
Yeah.
So I feel like Don wants us to be very clear about the fact that he is never home. He works a lot. He is never home. He was not home. I really believe that. I think that's what he's really trying to say. I wasn't there. I wasn't. Not that he's trying to point the finger, but he's just making it known I wasn't there. And if you weren't there and Candace wasn't in the house, again, it points me back at the minors that were not supervised.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got quite a few. How many of you guys have? 4, right? 3 boys
Yeah.
and Summer.
Yes.
Yep. I had 3, so I know you got your hands full there.
Right.
So, so she goes over, but were her and Hunter's mom on good terms at this time, or were they?
Yeah, they were, and I don't understand why. Well,
'Cause-
something to do with that little girl, Truey, was supposedly having sex with a 12-year-old, and
Now,
she
who is
wanted-
this?
that's one of their daughters. That's these people, Hunter's sister.
Oh, Hunter's
It was
sister.
having-
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
It was like having sex with a 12-year-old, and she wanted my wife to lie to the police about it, and my wife ain't gonna lie to the police. So
Oh, wow.
this is where all this. She got mad about it, and they're trying to do everything they can to hurt us at this point.
So that's the part I was talking about earlier, where he's basically insinuating that Allie said all the things she said because Candace didn't have her back with the whole police situation with her minor daughter. Could be more covering the ass of the family, or it could be the truth. It could be. I know country folks, and listen, revenge is a dish best served cold. They'll get you back. So, oh my God, I don't know here. Allie or Don, y'all.
I see. Okay, so at the time though, on the 15th, when Candace went over there, they were cool. They were all right.
Right, exactly.
And then
Yes.
so she went to see the mom. I'm sorry, I don't know her first name. What's Hunter's mom's first name?
I can't remember.
All right.
Allie or
We'll just call her
Sherry.
Hunter's mom.
Sherry or Allie, I don't.
We'll just call her Hunter's mom.
Okay.
Okay, so she goes over to see Hunter's mom, and then she asks Hunter to go to the state park with them.
Yeah.
Who was all with Candace?
Candace's mother.
Okay.
Summer, Wyatt and Waylon, and Wyatt, Waylon, Josie, the 3 boys. And
So all the boys were there too.
well, they either that or the boys stayed here. I'm really unclear on that for sure. I'm
Okay.
not sure.
I know it's been.
We got a truth. We got a truth. Appreciate that, Don. You don't know, do you? You don't know, because otherwise I was finna call bullshit. Those other boys were not there. Now, why don't you know that for sure? I told you earlier, if somebody's deceiving you, it's still your job as a man in the house to get to the bottom of it. That's why you get the big piece of chicken, man. You can't just let them do whatever they want to do around that house. I'm serious though, Don. I'm dead serious, man. You should know this. It's been 2 weeks. You should know the whole story, front and back, up and down, and you should be questioning things yourself at this point if you are really innocent.
That you're
of
unclear.
course.
Okay.
I just have a hard time believing that a woman who kicks it as heavily as she does with this kid and then buys him booze and nicotine wouldn't sleep with him. I'm sorry, you're already breaking the law. What's a little sex? I wouldn't do it. I'm not turned on at all by a 15-year-old. Nothing about it. It's weird to even think of it. And anytime I've been at a store and I've walked in and I've had the kids come up, ma'am, can I give you $1 to buy me a black and mild? No, you cannot. Because you know why? For one, it's illegal. You're a kid. I'm going to put those together. And I have my own life to worry about. I'm an adult with a family of my own. What do I look like taking what I call a penitentiary chance, jail chance, felony chance, whatever chance you want to call it, just to get a minor drunk or a cigarette or a cigar? Like it's so inappropriate. It's so inappropriate. Even in the country. I know plenty of grown ass people in the country where I'm from that wouldn't dare buy me nothing to drink. They might have me go in the store and try to go to the bootlegger house for them or something, walk up there, which is still inappropriate in my opinion. But I am not going to get a sip. Alcohol is not for kids. I don't understand Candace. And I don't understand why Don doesn't understand this about Candace. Seriously. Something's weird about that relationship she was having with this young boy. Regardless if there was sex or not, it was inappropriate. Remember the Facebook message? You were talking about sex if you weren't having it. You let me find out. Any grown ass woman, especially a friend of mine, is texting my son about jacking off. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? You, me, we got problems. Oh, we got real problems. You don't go there. Now, Allie, what I gotta understand is why y'all fell out behind the fact that she was trying to mess with your man, or that she did, whichever one it was. But these text messages and her kicking it with your son, that didn't set you off. My friend would have been put in her place. I'm just saying.
Been tossed around that the boys
Yeah.
weren't there. And
They may
everybody
not
was
have
like,
been.
why were the boys at home? And
Yeah.
she's taken this 15-year-old boy to the state park with Summer.
Right. Yeah, I'm unclear on that.
Anyway, let's talk about and swimming or fishing.
But he does go with Candace to the state park,
Yeah.
and Summer's there, and they swim and they fish
Yeah.
or they do whatever, right?
Right.
Okay. So that's like a normal place they usually go to go swimming.
Yeah, it's real shallow there. It's pretty safe.
Yeah, it looked
Well,
like Summer when she was standing. It was like her
Yeah.
waist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty safe there.
Okay, so she drops Hunter off at his house
Right.
that afternoon at like 2:30 or whatever the time,
Yeah.
2:30.
Picked up her prescription. That's why you see Summer asleep in the back of the truck there, because she used to stuck it out.
Yes, and that's what I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah.
That picture.
Yeah.
So she's back there, and someone had put a side by side of her hands.
Yeah.
Did you see this on YouTube?
I heard something about it.
Yeah, I know you've seen some of the stuff.
I didn't pay no attention to it though.
Yeah, I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to the hand thing, but I did, I looked at her in the back seat, and she's got like the couple gallons of milk. So I'm assuming they went shopping or went to the store to get some groceries or, some milk. And she's kind of, just leaned against it. Looks to me like she's sleeping.
Yeah, definitely.
And Candace took a picture of her sleeping.
Right.
Is that a picture or is that a TikTok video? Something like that.
Picture, I think.
Okay. So she takes this picture, and this is on the way back from swimming.
Yeah.
All right. So then,
just for the record, Candace was driving. She didn't take the picture or the video. There is, the jury is out, I should say, about whether that was Grandma in the front or Hunter in the front talking. And it was suggested that I go back to the video with Grandma Bly. And I am going to do that and listen to the voices again and see if I can make it out, because I just assumed it was Grandma. I didn't go off of that it sounded like her. I just assumed it didn't sound like a boy to me. But, boys can have soft voices as well. So the jury is still out. But what we are to understand based on what they've told us is that Hunter had already been dropped off, and it was Candace and Grandma on their way home. I feel like if Hunter was in that car, he would have been in the back next to Summer. Or Grandma would have had to be back there. I mean, both of them couldn't have been up front. I mean, I guess they could have, but that would be weird as hell. You up there between Grandma and Candace, like, right? So that makes me believe they had already dropped him off. Or he wasn't in the car at that moment for whatever reason, and that it was Grandma in the front passenger seat or some other female. But as far as we know, Grandma was the only other woman in the mix that day. So those are my thoughts on that. Now, think this is where I started. Let's be sure. So I did go ahead and back up, and there's a couple minutes in the beginning that we didn't go over. So in the beginning, very beginning, Jay starts out by asking Don to tell her how he felt, when he had Summer, when this beautiful baby girl came into his life.
We were kind of all over the place in our conversation, but why don't you tell me a little bit about when you found out that you and Candace were having a girl?
Well, I mean, I was excited or anything, but I didn't expect anything like what I got. She's been a little angel, and she has just been so awesome. I just didn't expect anything like that. I didn't expect her to just cling to me for the first 18 months, 2 years. I don't remember, but she wouldn't go to nobody but me, and I didn't expect that. That was just so awesome.
Yeah. And you were saying, you had that bond with her, and she just was daddy's girl.
Yeah.
No, I can understand that. I honestly think I was split between both parents. I think I just love them equally, but I do remember my daddy, my daddy, my daddy. I would say it a lot. Um, and I do know girls that are just truly daddy's girls. So this sounds good here to me. I mean, it makes sense. It sticks out to me that he keeps on repeating it. Well, he said it twice, and exactly the same way. You know what I mean? It's not like a different emotion a little bit. It's the exact same wording almost. So that's weird, sounding scripted, but he was really shocked that she clinged to him so much. That's what I've heard a couple. I don't know that that's too much unless what his niece says incorporates into that clinging thing. I don't know. But right now it just sounds like she was daddy's girl, and that was a good answer, Don. Pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah. And you were saying, you had that bond with her, and she just was daddy's girl.
Yeah, I could just say one word in a bad tone or something, and she would just break down.
Now that part, I know what he means. I know what he means. When your kids or a kid is really sensitive to you, you can say something and it just the whole world just you don't have to put your hands on them, nothing. It's just the fact that you said it. But it just makes me think of like, why recall that moment or that type of moment? You can just say anything and she would break down. Like, I don't know. Does that mean something? I mean, you were recalling the happy times and then you went like all the way left. She would just break down instead of, she would just light up when I came home from work. Does that make sense? There's just two different feelings and emotions, and it's a weird place to go to me, but
one word in a bad tone or something, and she would just break down and bawl, and I'd have to just, Summer, I'm sorry, I have to tell her sorry, 10 times, but anybody else say anything to her, it didn't bother her whatsoever. But me, she just, I don't know, it'd tear her up if I said anything to her. So this is just killing me for her being gone. It's literally just so hard.
I know. I can hear it in your voice and in your interviews.
I maybe possibly heard it a little bit, and that's so hard. I haven't heard it in his voice in his interviews personally, but I might have heard a little pain right there. So hard. I might have heard a little something. Just like I heard that little something when Candace talked about her boys waking up every morning and being devastated. It was that same little choke up. That's the only time I've heard it.
In your face.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the interview that you and Candace just did. And some of the rumors and speculations that are being talked about.
Right.
First of all, let's talk about drugs. I mean, let's just get it out of the way. Let's just get it out of the way. Is your wife currently on any drugs?
Zero. No.
Nothing for
No.
anxiety, nothing.
Nothing. No.
Okay.
I mean, she's even trying to quit drinking at this point, because the church, and everything like that.
Right.
So she's trying to give up everything. Yeah.
Right.
She doesn't do anything. She's even trying to give up drinking. She's trying to give up everything. What else? If it's not drugs and alcohol, I'm trying to think what else is intoxicating or put you under the influence, because something's going on. And then for him to wrap it up like that, she's trying to give up everything. Everything like what? We talking about the cussing and the infidelity. What are we talking about? I don't know. Sometimes nothing means something. I don't know right there. It makes me think though. Maybe she stopped. We don't know when that video was where she was doing. Well, I take that back. She was doing The Exorcist here recently, but she was really on one in the video when she was sitting out by, I guess, the garden or the memorial, smoking the cigarette with the TikTok song. Yeah. I want to know how long ago it was. So yeah, maybe she stopped. She cleaned up. Definitely, since you got all these cops and FBI agents running around your house, if you don't have prescriptions for them pills you popping, yeah, you got to clean up. You can't be running around here looking all groggy and drugged up, because all they got to say is, "Where's the prescription? Where's the bottle?" And when Don first started speaking, not the first interview, but in one of his first ones, they asked him, "How you been doing?" And he said, on the phone, he said he was just trying to cope, just trying to cope. And on TV, he was saying, "It's hard. It's getting rough. Everybody's getting cranky. My wife's getting cranky." And all I could think about were withdrawals. And that was my thought. Well, yeah, it's kind of hard to be lit all the time when you are surrounded by cops and you don't know at what point they're going to want to be in your face. You can't do the same shit you've been doing. You cannot eat fried green tomatoes with a spoon and have your lighter on the table. That was the funniest part of the interview, Allie. You wrong for that story, girl. You are wrong. You should have just left that story alone. But you got to move different when the cops are surrounding your house. So it's possible she is clean for the last 2 weeks. And that would have been forced, and that would have been necessary, and that would have been why you had to wait 4 or 5 days to take another lie detector test, why you didn't want to come on camera. You had to straighten up. It's possible. It's possible. And it's possible that Don would be telling the truth at this point in time, based on that, in my opinion. But let's keep rolling. We almost home.
Church, and everything like that.
Right.
So she's trying to give up everything. Yes.
Right.
And,
So your religion, your Seventh-day Adventist is your religion, and you were telling me that you were raised as a Mormon, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
So how long have you been practicing the Seventh-day Adventist religion?
Well, I've read Ellen White's book.
So he's been going there a year and a half, Allie. Now, October 2020 is when the whole incident happened and you and Candace fell out. That hasn't even been a year yet. So he was going to that church before y'all fell out, if what he's saying is true. So again, I ask, who you got? Don or Allie? We got two different stories again. If he was heavy into that church a year and a half ago, there's no way she didn't know they were going. The whole family goes. So either he's lying about that year and a half, or she's lying about not knowing about the church. Why would she not do that? I don't know. But she spent quite some time letting us know he's not nearly as religious as he claims to be. I think she basically said he wasn't religious at all. So he's covering his ass here. Interesting.
I know a lot of people are reading, looking at you guys, what you say, what you do, how you look, everything else.
Right.
Is there anything that you want to say to the public that you haven't been able to, or you haven't been able to convey in the interviews that you've done?
Not really. Just trying hard to, be a commandment keeper. Especially, I've been kind of lukewarm, and since this has happened this summer, I promise God, no matter what the outcome, I'm going full bore to commandment keeper and doing everything I can, because I want to be with my church family, all my fellow human beings and commandment keepers in the resurrection. I want to be there, and I want to see my kids there, and anybody who's wanting to do the same thing.
Okay, and you mentioned the resurrection. I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to ask you a question about that before we move on. In an interview that you did, I think it was the interview you were standing and your son was next to you. You had your arm around him.
Yeah.
They asked something about Summer, and you said, "Well, we believe in the resurrection." So, what did you mean by that?
Well, what I meant is if she's not found, or in the worst case scenario, for my own sanity, like if it wasn't for my beliefs in this stuff, I would have lost it long ago.
Right.
I mean, there's no way I can handle this without God. There is no way.
Right.
I know that the weight of it and gravity of it is way too much. I know there's no way, but so I have to put my trust in God and pray and beg that He'll bring her back, hopefully. But worst case scenario, there's the resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'll see her there. I mean,
a lot of people thought that you sounded very just like you had accepted that.
Well, I'm just accepting that God is in control, not me. Or when you got half the country's police force out here, with all these helicopters flying for days on end, and heat-seeking airplanes at night, and half the country's, police force and all these other outfits here, and they can't find her, and they're powerless to find her. But God knows where she's at, and I have to put my full faith in Him.
So what you meant by that was just you're putting your faith in God and that she's going to be okay.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that she's going to be okay, because she could be anywhere. It's hard. We don't know. Nobody knows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'd say a parent's faith and what they do might impact God's judgment in the end, no matter what one of your children go through. I mean, say, for instance, one of your kids overdoses on drugs or something, that's tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation.
Absolutely.
But I think God will consider, hopefully, what their parents do and what, stuff like that, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Because what if she is forced to do drugs and grows up in this negative way or this negative country or who knows what, and and she gets killed or whatever, and she's not in the church. I wasn't able to bring her up to church like I wanted to. So what if,
right, but it's kind of like what we talked about on the phone before. Like, she's the little innocent kid,
Right.
She's a little innocent kid.
And God, and the good thing about that, Jesus being the judge, He's also your lawyer.
Right.
Now, I thought that was weird. We had to let him do his thing. She had to give him a minute to go into his religion because he wasn't going to do that by himself, because we've been real hard on him about that. And he knows it. But she gave him the platform, and he, of course, vomited. And then you say he's also your lawyer. Now, we were talking about the fact that you hadn't lawyered up, but maybe you have. Because Jesus is your lawyer. Shoot, you had a lawyer the whole time. And that's real talk. Interesting talk at that. Very interesting to me.
So definitely I'm going to do everything I can, to sway God and to, well, you can't sway God, but I mean, I'm going
to get your message to Him.
Do right, and to do everything I can for my kids' sake, yes. She's got my heart so bad that that's all I want to do. That's all I can think about. I read scriptures and
What are you and Candace and the boys spending your time doing right now?
well, right now we're at the swim park thing, whatever it is, and kids are playing and having a great time. But me, I'm just sitting here watching them till we leave.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you just have that sick feeling in your stomach, just constant.
I don't think it's gonna go away.
I'm so sorry, Don.
No,
I
it's okay.
really am. I know this is really super hard, and you're doing a great job.
And as you can see, we've come back around to a point we were at previously. That concludes the interview. Now, I do have it recorded and in the Summer Wells playlist. If it's not there when you see this one, it's still uploading. But in case you're already over here and you want to see it again, otherwise, please go to J is for Justice podcast and you'll find it there. That was really good. She was excellent. I appreciate her work very much. Don, I still got some questions for you, but we do appreciate you speaking. I do every time. Because it's not always what you say, it's what you don't say. So, that lawyer comment is going to stick for a minute. I really, but you said a couple other things. And I get it, again, how people can be on the fence about you. I do. Maybe I just don't want to believe that you are that gullible or naive as a grown ass man. I don't know how to. When I think of a grown man, a man of the house, a father, I see him together. I see him strong and powerful and unbreakable and righteous and with integrity. And integrity, we all know it means doing what's right, even when no one's looking. And Don, I don't think you're that guy. You are not that guy. So I'm not on the fence. I feel like he's a major part of the cover up, if nothing else. That's it, y'all. That's what I got. That's my reaction to Where is Summer Wells exclusive interview with Donald Wells by J is for Justice podcast. I will see you in the comments. So now tell me, how do you feel? Where do you stand with all this?